Hello! So today I'm going to talk about GMO and organic farming. What kind of food are you eating? I don't literally mean the substance, but what it's made of and how it came about. Was it grown using modified genetics or naturally? Right now in the world there's a huge debate going on about the GMO farming and organic farming for the use of food production. Today I'm going to talk about exactly what GMO farming and organic farming is and to help you choose which side of the debate you will stand in. So why is it a huge deal if we use GMOs for food? Is there life-threatening risks or is it all just a misunderstanding? To begin with, I will talk about GMOs. GMO stands for genetically modified organisms whose genetic makeup has been modified using recombinant DNA methods. Livestrong has a list of pros and cons of GMO farming, and to begin with pros, that's where I'm going to begin. So, insect repellent. Toxic bacteria added to crops to make them insect repellent, but safe for humans. It also reduces the number of pesticides introduced to the crops, potentially reducing exposures to pesticides. Environmental protection. It requires less chemicals, time, tools, reduces pollution, greenhouse gas emission, and soil erosion. So over the past 20 years, the 37% reduction of pesticide application to plants and a 22% increase in crop yields. GMO uses less tilling, which increases the moisture kept into the ground, and less gas emissions and soil erosions. And this is just the map that says so, yeah. More nutritious foods. More nutritious in terms of mineral or vitamin content playing a significant role in the malnutrition. The United States advises that vitamin A enhanced rice is helping reduce vitamin A deficiencies. Now with cons. There are allergic reactions because of the mixed and added proteins that were indigenous to the plant or crop before. Decreased antibiotic efficiency, which just is where they're now built into the GMOs, and so when you were to be prescribed a medication by your doctor, it kind of makes it less effective in a way, so that you're not, it just kind of clashes and breaks down. Gene transfer. A risk that modifying genes may escape into the wild. For example, like herbicide-resistant crops cross or contaminated in a way with some wild weeds, creating the super weeds, which potentially become impossible to kill just because of the resistance to the herbicides. When researching, I came across an article called PRO Propaganda, so I'm going to share a little bit with you. So it's about a guy named Guy Watson. I know, it's weird. So he's an organic farmer in the United Kingdom. And in the 1989 maize trials that were held in the United Kingdom, his field of maize, which is corn, was about 1.5 miles from where the plants of the being tested GMOs were going into effect. So he started reading about this, and he's like, this could contaminate my food, because maize is a wind-pollinated crop. And so he was like, no, I'm not gonna ruin my organic farming and make my prices go down because of the contamination that it could happen. So he took it to court, and so he battled it and battled it and battled it. And they came back to him and said, well, it being 1.5 miles away is not gonna contaminate your maize. And so with that, he just said okay and went back to his mate's farming. He still is an organic farmer today. So organic farming, so that helps us pull into organic farming. Organic farming has been a practice for thousands of years. It is prescribed as a method of crop and livestock production that involves much more, choosing not to use pesticides, fertilizer, genetically modified organisms, antibiotics, and growth hormones. So organic farms also has a website with pros and cons. So let's start with the pros again. So there is a better taste. Mineral and sugar structure in organic foods are tastier because the crops are given more time to develop and mature. Next is soil management. Retains soil management with the intercropping and no-till techniques have retained 40% topsoil, more topsoil. And it also uses the green manure of animals that have, okay. Next is pesticides. The organic way is so they can use pesticides. It's just like no artificial ones, meaning they can use organic things like garlic, mulch, which is just ground up plants and food, and clove oil. And the cons are small yields. Without the use of GMOs, the production, the growth is a lot slower than it would be in anything else. And so world ecosystems are being destroyed by the expanding cropland to keep up with the high demand. Global climate change. Organic agriculture is hardly contributing to in addressing the issue. It reduces the CTO emissions, but not in a dramatic condition. So research. Dennis Avery of the Hudson Institute publicized that the increase of E. coli by the consumption of organic products is very high. So here's the map about the little places where farms are grown. So 0 to 100, which is the gray, is the farms that have 0 to organic farms. And then dark blue is 100 to 200. The lighter one is 200 to 500. And the gray, like California, is 500 plus organic farms in that state. So in conclusion, people will dispute that there's a need to keep with organic foods so that the body will take in the nutrients it needs in a safer manner, while others will say that, are we just going to push the techniques of science we have? What way do you choose to feed a rapidly growing population on a decreasing amount of land?